What's going on, everybody? Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with Pow Group, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. It is Sunday, September 14th. Happy Sunday. We're going to discuss in this video the German illicit market is shrinking by about 90%. We've got some news in an article, exciting news here to report on. This is great to see. Good for Tillray, obviously. And the legal market is really making a dent into the illicit one. And there's just so much common sense coming your way. It's going to be a bit of a breath of fresh air. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. Help support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe. Tick the bell to be notified on any future videos. Follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. We'll be using that as one of my platforms of choice going forward. And full disclosure, I do own Tilray in my portfolio. Obviously, it's my largest portfolio holding, and never do anything based on anything that I say or write. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. So who would have thought the legal MJ market in Germany is shrinking the illicit market by almost 90%, and this is from High Times. You can see the date on this was September 11th, 2025. So a few days old, but great to see. Nonetheless, Germany is now stepping up and proving what many suspected and others refuse to accept. A legal MJ market means less drug trafficking. Great way of putting it. And yeah, who would have thought? You know, it's not like we have a almost 7-year legal at the federal level market here in Canada. No, it's just common sense prevails, folks. You see some of these absolute morons in the U.S. political sphere who they just use the same rhetoric, the same talking points, right? Oh, it's zombies in the streets, and it's going to create more crime. It's all bullshit, right? So it's nice to see. It's like I said, it's a breath of fresh air to see this common sense reign through. But you can see the recipe is simple. More safe access means less reliance on the street. I'm not going to read the entire article, but the CON-CAN-G project, led by the Institute for Addiction Research and Frankfurt University of Applied Sciences and the Evangelical University of Freiburg, say that 5 times fast, surveyed 11,471 people, 11,375 adults, and 96 adolescents. The study seeks to measure the impact of the historic legalization approved in April 2024. As confirmed by the International MJ Business Conference, the results have no doubt safe access works. So legal MJ access in Germany from the streets to homes since April 2024. The MJ Act CAN-G has allowed adults to grow up to 3 plants in their homes, possess up to 50 grams in private and 25 grams in public spaces, and join authorized associations since July. And this is a great wake-up call for the U.S. as well. This marked a turning point. Access was no longer monopolized by the illicit market, but spread into safer, more controlled channels. Again, who would have thought? The CON-CAN-G project measured how this transition would experience in practice. The result painted a clear picture of what can be achieved by legalizing MJ. So 97.8% now use at home. And that's another thing. Oh, it's going to be smelling like MJ everywhere. No, it's time to end this madness. It's time to end the reefer madness. It's time to start talking, common sense, and listen to the science, and go to just any of these politicians in the U.S. or abroad, or anybody who's has any kind of skepticism. Just come to Canada for a couple weeks. Go on a vacation. Your U.S. dollar's worth a crazy amount here, so just come here. See what it's like. There's no zombies in the streets. Everybody here is pretty normal as far as I'm concerned. It's just ridiculous. 88.4% purchased legal MJ in the last 6 months. Home Cultivation Association pharmacies. Before the law, only 23.5% used these now legal sources. Nearly 80% said their main source is either homegrown or pharmacy bought MJ. Of those who started home growing since CAN-G took effect, 90.1% are men, and at the same time, purchases from illegal sellers fell dramatically, both in private spaces and on public roads. So again, you can check out that full article for the full details on that, but we'll take a look at the chart here, what to expect leading into tomorrow. I mentioned in the live stream, it went a little long, but I wanted to just show you how similar the Tillray move has been right now, similar to VFF. The blue bars are the VFF kind of fractal that we've been seeing, the movement we've been seeing over the last couple of months. You can see Tilray is just a little bit of a laggard, but we're very similar. We had our low, high, we had a higher low and then a bull flag. We had another higher low, which is forming now, and very similar to VFF, and it's a potential bull flag again. And if we do like the similar move, it's not going to be the exact same, obviously, but it's pretty pretty verbatim at the moment. But if we were to do something similar as VFF, that would put us up around $6 to $7, and that's USD on the NASDAQ. But again, we'd have to get some sort of news with regards to rescheduling. I do want to just highlight here that MSOS is showing us a bit of a red flag here. We had a head and shoulders. You have our left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We had a bearish engulfing as well in the daily, and we closed right at the low of the day on Friday with an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross here lining up. And yeah, it's not looking good based on this inverse head and the regular head and shoulders. We could see a move down to around 334, which is also our previous support there at 320. But yeah, it's not a good look. Some of our names, MSOS, like I said, closed red, and then Tilray closed the opposite, up almost 6% at the close, and this was at the low of the day. And Tilray on Friday actually closed somewhat near the high of the day. It was kind of closer to the high than the low, but almost pretty much right there, smack dab in the middle. But not a great sign that MSOS is breaking down. That could potentially spell trouble for Tilray, and it's kind of a similar pattern here with the left head and a potential right shoulder and an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on our way to daily oversold. So as MSOS is very close to daily oversold, so I'm just showing it because it's very similar to the chart right now on Tilray on the daily time frame. But with that being said, we can look at MSOS and the comparison to Tilray. So TLRY divided by MSOS, you'll see that we had an ascending triangle. That target hit to perfection. Now we have a daily bull flag. So we have our low, high, higher low. We came down again and held key support there, which was at 0.21. Now we're looking to confirm. We closed at the high of the day on TLRY divided by MSOS. So showing that makes sense because Tilray was up over 5% and MSOS was down over 4%. But we could still see another leg higher here on this TLRY divided by MSOS, which would mean that into tomorrow we could see Tilray continue to be stronger. Doesn't mean that Tilray can't be red while MSOS is red. It's just if we end up seeing a down day for both, Tilray is probably going to drop less, right? Like MSOS could be down 5%, Tilray might be down 2% or something like that, right? But we are showing relative strength here, Tilray versus MSOS, and we're still bullish here. We're seeing a little bit of a red flag here. Stochastic on the weekly could cross bearish, so not loving that, but we're still well above the 10-week moving average. MACD is still super strong, and we do have that 50 weekly there at 93 cents. I think there's going to be a lot of support in that 90-cent area. So if we do lose $1, no sweat. It's not the end of the world. We'll probably come back down, back test 50-day moving average there at 89 cents. So like I said, around that 93 to 90 cents, there's a lot of support. And if we do end up losing $1, it's all about $1 from here. Lose $1, then we're looking at 90 cents. But we just had the golden cross, and similar to VFF, it's very reminiscent. You have the golden cross, right? And then this ends up being a sell, a laggard indicator ends up being a bit of a sell alert when it crosses, because you have that run up. Then you have the golden cross. You usually consolidate back into support as the 50-day, and then you go again. So something similar is happening on Tilray, where we've broken out. We're looking to come back, test it as support, and then go again. And we've had the run up into that cross. We had the cross, sell off, looking to go, like I said, again here as we consolidate. These are lagging indicators, so they track the price. So typically they end up being, it's a little different on the weekly time frame. When the weekly moving averages cross bullish, it's not as, like you can still continue higher because of the fact that it's the weekly time frame, and they take a lot more time to develop. Whereas on the daily time frame, I usually see a pretty big sell-off after the golden cross, and everybody knows what a golden cross is now. So when it happens, most people, it's almost a sell alert until you back test it as support, and then, like I said, you get ready and you do it all over again. You break to a higher high, so it's looking good. If we get rescheduling, which very well could come at any week now. We have FOMC this week, so rates probably going to be cut this week. The consensus is 25 basis points, but we could see 50 basis points. So we'll see what happens there. I think 25 is the most likely scenario, and it's more than likely going to open up the market expansion and breadth and just overall risk on appetite, which definitely won't be a bad thing for Tilray and the rest of the sector. All right, let me know what you think of this news in the comment section below. We'll continue the conversation there. It's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll catch you on the next one.